The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, rapping at my chamber door, only this and nothing more.
Ah, distinctly I remember, it was in the deep December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow, vainly I had sought to borrow from my books a surcease of sorrow, sorrow for the lost Lenore, o'er the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels named Lenore, nameless here forevermore.
And the silken satin sudden rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me with fantastic terrors never felt before. So that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. Some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. This is it, and nothing more."
Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. "Sir," said I, "or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore. But the fact is I was napping, and you came so gently rapping. You came so faintly tapping at my chamber door. I scarce was sure I heard you. Here I opened wide the door. Darkness there, and nothing more."
Deep into the darkness peering, long I stood there, wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, the stillness gave no token, and the only word there spoken was the whispered word, "Lenore." This I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word, "Lenore." Merely this, and nothing more.
Back into my chamber turning, all my soul within me burning. Soon again I heard a tapping, somewhat louder than before. "Surely," said I, "surely there is something at my window lattice. Let me see then what there is, and its mystery explore." And then my heart be still a moment, and its mystery explore. 'Tis the wind, and nothing more.
Open here I flung the shutter, one with many a flirt and flutter. And there stepped the stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not an instant stopped or stayed he, but with mien of word a lady, perched above my chamber door. Perched upon a bustled pallet just above my chamber door, perched and set and nothing more.
Then this ebony bird beguiling my sad fancy into smiling, by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore. "Though thy crest be shorn and shaven, thou," I said, "art sure no craven, ghastly grim and ancient raven, wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is on the night's Plutonian shore." Quoth the raven, "Nevermore."
Much I marveled this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore. For we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing right above his chamber door. Bird or beast upon the sculptured bust above his chamber door, with such a name as Nevermore.
But the raven, sitting lonely, on the placid bust spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour. Nothing further than he uttered, not a feather than he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, "Other friends have flown before. On the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before." Then the bird said, "Nevermore."
Started at its stillness, broken by reply. So apply, spoken, doubtless, said I. What it utters, it's only stock or store, dropped from unhappy master, from certain full disaster.
Followed fast and followed faster till his songs burned the board. Only this, nothing more.
But the raven, still beguiling all my sad soul into smiling, straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in front of bird and busting door. Then into the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking, fancy unto fancy, thinking of what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, unghastly, ungainly, gaunt, and ominous bird of yore, meant in croaking, nevermore.
This I sat, engaged in guessing, with no syllable expressing, to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned through my bosom's cord. This more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining, on the cushion's velvet lining, that the lamplight gloated o'er, but on whose velvet violet lining, with the lamplight gloating o'er, she shall press, ah, nevermore. Then methought the air grew denser, perfumed by an unseen censer, swung by seraphim whose footfalls tinkled on the tufted floor. Wretch, I cried, thy God hath lent thee, by these angels he has sent thee, respite and nepenthe, from my memories of Lenore. Quaff this kind nepenthe, and forget this lost Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore.
Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, whether tempest toss thee here ashore, desolate yet all undaunted, on this desert land enchanted, on this own by horror haunted, tell me, I implore. Is there balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore. Quoth the raven, nevermore.
Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, by that heaven that bends above us, by that God we both adore. Tell that soul with sorrow laden, if within the distant Aidenn, it shall clasp a sainted maiden, whom the angels name Lenore. Clasp a rare and radiant maiden, whom the angels name Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore.
Be that word our sign of parting. Bird or fiend, I shrieked upstarting. Get thee back into the tempest and the night's Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume as a token of the lie the soul has spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken. Quit the bust above my door. Take that beak from out my heart, and take thy form from off my door. Quoth the raven, nevermore.
And the raven, never flitting, still sitting, on the pallid busted palace just above my chamber door. And as I sip all the seeming of a demon that is dreaming, and the lamplight orange streaming throws a shadow on the floor, and my soul from out the shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted, nevermore.